Guys, check this out. I never thought I would see the day. The Tamiya Porsche 959 has arrived at Poor Boys.
Excellent!
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Thanks again for supporting Poor Boys RC, where today, guys, a vehicle, an RC car that requires no introduction. Many would call it the holy grail of RCs. Definitely one of, if not the most collectible of the vintage RCs, the Tamiya Porsche 959. Now, this guy hit the shelves in 1986, and it was available till about 1992. For a 1/12 scale kit, they packed a lot into this chassis. We're going to take a closer look at that in a few minutes. Tamiya did some really cool stuff with this platform. They had a really neat design to this body, tons of scale details, even headlights. I found this one in my local Facebook marketplace. The body has definitely seen better days. It's been very well used, but the chassis, the suspension, the drivetrain, all are in very, very good condition. In today's video, we're going to talk about this car, and we're even going to go out and take it for a little rip. But before we do that, just a reminder, guys, we do have the raffles that are active right now. We got a raffle for the Tamiya MB-01. Links in the description box below or over there, depending how you have your YouTube configured. And we've also got the BT-01. Raffle is live right now. So if you guys want to buy some raffle tickets, help support the channel, I would love it. Check it out down below. We got bundles set up, all sorts of good stuff for you guys to get some of these cars into your living rooms. Now, back to what's really the focus of today's show, and that is this awesome 959. Let's just take a quick look and soak in the radness that is the 959. Man, oh man. Again, this body is well loved, you could say. And the front end's taken a lot of hits. We got paint chipping all over the place. Big hole out here for the antenna. This antenna kind of moves. I didn't realize that until I got it. We've got a hard plastic wing. We've got LED light buckets. Well, I shouldn't say LED, this predates LED light bucket technology for the RC world. All in all, a really beautiful looking body. Tamiya actually used a different design process, a different molding process when they created this body to allow for these types of lines where the body really comes inward. I actually noticed something very similar with the MB-01, where the rear bumper kind of rolls in a little bit. And when I got this guy, the bumper was actually already cracked. That was just from me cutting it out. It was so fragile and so thin that just by cutting it out, I ended up breaking it. So little Shugu fixed that right up. But again, back to the Porsche 959. Guys, I'm still just like over the moon. I'm having a hard time just understanding that it's in my house. You know what I mean? This is one of those coveted RC cars that so many of us would love to add to a collection. To find one in good condition is very rare, and to find one affordable in good condition it's a unicorn. So when it showed up, I actually left it on my dining room table for about a week. Just stared at it every day. It took that long for it to soak in that this sucker has arrived. Let's take this body shell off and get a closer look at the Porsche 959. Look at that, guys. So this thing's, there's a combination of new parts and original parts on this chassis. I cannot imagine those tires would have survived since the 80s in this condition. So let's assume it's fair to say these have been replaced. If you look underneath, some of the plastic has been replaced. You can see this big bumper section here, not a scratch on it. It is absolutely mint. Same with the back section of the chassis here, guys. Look at that, absolutely fantastic condition. And then we do see some light wear and tear marks right here in the center portion of this chassis, but even those scratches are really quite minimal. From up top, guys, look at this chassis. I mean, for a 1/12 scale, they have packed a lot of stuff into this tiny little footprint. We've got the 3-step forward reverse manual speed controller, which has definitely seen some good use. We've got a nice high-tech servo in here for the throttle, high-tech servo for the steering. We've got the big old high-tech receiver here. Look at the size of these things, guys. Remember when receivers were this big? Holy cow. You can get a 2-in-1 that's smaller than that these days. It does have the Technigold motor in here, which is a very highly collectible motor and a really nice fast motor as well. We've got the shaft-driven 4-wheel drive. There's our prop shaft right there in the center. We've got a ton of wires, and there's this one right here that goes from the speed controller. There's a little plug and it goes to this switch here. And I'm gonna say this little switch is some kind of BEC or something like that. Or you guys at home might have a better idea what that is. If you do, leave me an explanation in the comments, because I'd like to know exactly what that is. My gut says it's some sort of BEC switch. Back in the day, you'd have to run an auxiliary 4 AA battery pack to power all your electronics here. And seeing how this goes directly to the speed controller. It's been kind of jerry-rigged here. These wires are still exposed, look at that. That's what I think it is, correct me if I'm wrong. But overall, guys, look at this. The wires are all in good shape. You can tell the previous owner really cared about it. You know, everything's kind of tucked in nicely, and you know, it shows signs of care and consideration throughout its long life. Even check out that resistor, guys. Look at the condition of that resistor. It looks like it's brand new still. So I'm gonna say that's probably been replaced at some point, because I'm sure this thing's taken a lot of shots in its life. Even this front upper bumper looks to be brand new. Looks really nice and fresh and clean. The suspension is something to just really observe in this thing. We've got this interesting little, you know, this spring here with an oil damper, kind of this oil damper reservoir up top. A very interesting design that you just don't see on any other kits. In the rear, it's just super cool with this aggressive stance here with the shocks. I love it, and everything works really nice and smooth. You can see these springs have got a bit of a curve in them. I don't know if that's by design or with a bit of age or what, but just totally different design to what you're used to seeing these days. But despite the antiquated design, I mean, it still has double wishbone suspension, front and rear, four-wheel independent, four-wheel drive, no center differential. We've got diffs up front, diffs in the back. We've got a combination, looks like we have some FRP here. That's the fiber reinforced plastic. I believe that's what that is for the front body mount stays. And then the rest of the chassis looks like, you know, these gearboxes and these upper and lower arms look to be made of that traditional ABS Tamiya plastic, which, you know, the 40 years or so this thing's been around, they do tend to get really weak and brittle over time. So these weren't exactly known as being the toughest car out there when they came out, so you could just imagine all these years later how fragile those suspension components may be. And I know we've already kind of, you know, had a good laugh at this body because, guys, this thing is very well used. But look at the inside. It kind of reminds you of the 80s, just a different time when, yeah, this has all been hand painted inside here. There's just some interesting things going on. A lot of hand painting, no shugu. Maybe shugu wasn't a thing back in these days. I doubt it was. This thing it just screams 1980s in here. Ah, that's hilarious. It even came with its own battery. These Onyx batteries, these little NiCads, these are more of a modern battery. They're not new by any stretch of the imagination, but they certainly were not around when this sucker came out. So that leads me to believe that this thing was getting used. Now, a few other things that would lead me to believe that it was getting used. It even came with a little box of additional parts. Let's check that out. So here we can see some of the original parts that would have been on the chassis. It looks like this may be like a skid plate kind of a thing, probably for the rear of the vehicle. Yeah, look at that. That would fit right there and act as a skid plate. How great would that be to help protect things? Although it doesn't really fit, does it? Kind of on a funny angle. So we got that guy there. What else did this thing come with? You can see the original, you know, the front bumper, and you can see some of those heavy scrapes and stuff. So this thing did get some good use. Looks like it was definitely used on the road. There's another skid plate for the back. Also seen some good wear. It's like another skid plate possibly for the front, maybe for the back again. Pretty good condition overall. We've got this little manual. What's this telling us all about here? Oh, look, that's attached to the RC car with 2mm screw, battery eliminator. Oh, I was right. Can be used as a receiver switch. So it was a little BEC. Look at that. So cool. Just answer my own questions. Read the instructions. Right, Phil? Right. We've got some gearbox bit and bobs in here. Look at this. The plastic cases for the gearbox. We've got here another manual speed controller. And notice that this one's black and the one in the car right now is kind of that tan sort of color. So I don't know if it would have originally come with the black one or the other color. If you guys know, let me know in the comments below. Maybe this is just an extra that was thrown in there. Maybe it was upgraded, I'm not too sure. Here we have a really greasy differential that looks to be in good shape. I don't see any broken teeth or chipped teeth, so looks like we have a spare diff. Look at these tires, guys. These just scream OG. And I'm pretty sure the kit came with this set of slicks as well. And these are not glued, but very, 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 very well used. You can see all the chips along the sides of the rims there. The rubber is, you know, kind of tells a story, doesn't it? Very well used and abused, which is exactly how it should be. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those bad boys. Look at that. We're gonna clean these guys up a little bit, see if we can make them look a little bit nicer in the future. Here we have what looks to be a spur gear, also in pretty good condition. Actually looks like it's in really good condition. Little spare parts Dewey with nothing in it. A little Dewey with a Dewey, and a few more little Deweys. But all in all, guys, look at just the overall condition of this thing. Again, I can't stress it enough how nice and clean this thing is. It looks phenomenal. And I think what I'm gonna do is, for the purpose of today's video, you know, I don't have like, there's a high-tech receiver in here, high-tech servos. I don't have an old school high-tech radio, believe it or not. I've got a couple Traxxas, I got Futaba, I got Robbie, I got a few other brands, but I don't have a high-tech. I can't afford this thing to run away on me and smash into a wall at top speed. So I'm gonna do a little modern day hack. I'm gonna throw in a Hobbywing 1060 and just pair it with a modern receiver as well. Hook everything up. Since there's gonna be a ton of room, I can squeeze it all in here. I mean, look at this. I can put, speed controller can sit there and the receiver can sit on the receiver. And look guys, I mean, the speed controller and the receiver are smaller than the old receiver. Moral of the story, there's a lot of room to squeeze these in, and I can put these guys in and just have a little more comfort, a little more reassurance, knowing that I'm not going to end up with a runaway that's going to smash into a curb and break a bunch of parts that are extremely hard to replace. Everything feels good. The gearboxes feel nice and smooth. I haven't done any bench testing whatsoever with this thing, so let's get these new electronics thrown in here, do a little bit of bench testing, make sure everything works, and then let's go take it for a rip. Just for the record, here's what we've got. It's a bit of a Frankenstein monster right now. We've got two Speedos in there, two receivers. So we got the Hobbywing sitting on top of the original receiver there. Here we've got the little Fly Sky receiver sitting on top of that motor plate chassis stiffener doodad. It is time for the moment of truth. Will we have power? Steering is okay. Throttle. Oh my. Ooh, it's actually moving pretty good. Woo, he's cooking. Guys, I think it's pretty good. Let's go. I'm gonna run it on this 3000 milliamp pack. You know, it fits, it's period correct, fits like a glove. Let's go test this thing. Just before we head out, guys, sorry about the mess, but I just want to talk about this product right here. This 3M Scotch Guard. This is just a paint protection film. You can get this at any auto body supply store. This is the stuff they put on the front of cars to protect them from stone chips. I just put a thin layer. You can see it just kind of, I put it on kind of quickly here so it'll really stand out on the camera. I line the whole chassis with it and very quickly and very crudely cut it all out. I've got that on the chassis now, and that's going to help protect it so you don't get any scratches on these nice fresh plastic parts.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Here comes fun on wheels. Tao Turbo Hoppers. These sons of guns pack turbocharged engines. With your kids at the radio controls, there ain't no place they can't go. Turn them and they slip under, over, around the darndest places. Send them cannonballing off a cliff. Yahoo! There's no stopping them. Want more speed? Give it a blast of turbo power. If it's the one and only Tao Turbo Hopper, it's a winner. Get your kids the real Turbo Hoppers, only from Tao RC.
Never thought this day would come. We're gonna be doing some speed runs with this thing and just give it a little drive around, see how it feels. I would say it's as fragile, if not more fragile, than a carton of eggs. So it's not something I can go and go beat up and rally hard. We're still gonna have some fun with it today. Oh, suspension is so goofy. I'm surprised this thing's actually really quick. That's still running on that little NiCad pack or nickel metal hydride, whatever it was. You see, as I turn, the inside rear wheel likes to lift. So the suspension's not tuned very well at all. But I'm actually really surprised how fast it is. I did bring my mini GPS. Let's clock this thing and see how quick it is. That Technigold motor moves so fast. Here we go, we're in kilometers per hour here, just for the record. Here we go, guys, she's all zeroed out. Any predictions before we get going? I'm gonna say, this thing felt pretty good. I'm gonna say, what am I gonna say? Don't get cocky, Phil. Let's say 32 kilometers per hour is my guess. Let's see how she goes. Oh, we just lost some power. Right there, guys, 34.2. 34.2 kilometers per hour, but it kind of lost power there. I don't know if you guys noticed that. It was kind of ripping along, and then it just kind of almost went into like lipo cutoff mode. Well, that's weird. It's like it's only got half power now for some reason. I haven't used a nickel metal hydride battery in so long, and this battery itself is probably 4 or 5 years old without a lot of use. So it hasn't been cycled much, so it might have been the battery. But at any rate, I'm still pretty happy with 34 kilometers an hour. That's pretty quick for this old girl. Let's bomb it around a little bit more, get some more shots for you guys, and call it a day. Yeah, this thing's pretty awesome. So we got a couple little scrapes on the sides of the bumpers there, but that chassis protector really did its job. Got to drive a Tamiya Porsche 959 today. Never thought I'd see the day. So I'm stoked. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. It means a ton to these YouTube channels. Again, guys, just a reminder, we've got the 2 raffles down in the description box below. We got the BTO1 and the MBO1 being raffled off live right now. So click on those. Every cent that goes into that raffle gets rolled right back into the channel. It helps keep the content flowing. So I'd appreciate if you bought a ticket. And tickets are only $1 American. So pretty cheap tickets, and we do have some ticket bundles available. Thanks again so much for watching, guys. As always, be excellent to each other.